Good morning and welcome to another video on word problems in trigonometry. In this video, I will discuss the 4 problems that were included in our quiz. On that quiz, majority of the students got correct on 3 problems. So I will no longer discuss those 3 problems in detail, but I will discuss the analysis and reveal the answers. Well, there is this one problem that I will discuss in detail. So without further ado, let's start. For the first problem, a 7-meter long ladder leans against a building. If the ladder makes an angle of 60 degrees with the ground, how far up the wall does the ladder reach? And then how far from the wall is the base of the ladder? Okay, so for the drawing of this problem, okay, we have a 7-meter long ladder, this one, leans against a building. So nakasandal sa isang building, okay? If the ladder makes an angle of 60 degrees with the ground, okay, so this is the ground, our ladder makes an angle of 60 degrees with the ground, okay? How far up the wall does the ladder reach, okay? How far up the wall does the ladder reach? So let's represent that with this variable, t. And then lastly, how far from the wall is the base of the ladder? Okay, so this one. And let's represent that with this variable c. Mabubuo natin itong triangle na ito. For the analysis, so titingnan natin dito, okay, since given yung angle 60, given tayo nitong length ng ating hagdanan, which is 7 meters, okay, di natin alam yung value ng t at saka c. Now, looking at this triangle, and having known that right triangles yung very important na mga sides dito will be, hanapin natin yung opposite side, hanapin natin yung adjacent side. Again, with reference to the given angle. So, ito yung angle na given natin. Ano ba yung opposite side? Ano ba yung adjacent side sa angle na to? Ano ba yung hypotenuse ng triangle na to? So, if you determine that, we will arrive in the same answer that T is 6.06 meters, while C is 3.5 meters. Moving on to the second problem. Jim and Ted live on one side of the river, and Martha lives on the other side. So the distance across the river is 80 yards. Ted, who lives downstream from Martha, measures an angle of 35 degrees between the shoreline and a straight line leading to Martha's house. Jim, who lives upstream from Martha, measures an angle of 60 degrees. How far apart do Ted and Jim live? So in this problem, we have 3 characters, namely Jim, Ted, and Martha. Si Jim daw at saka si Ted live on one side of the river. So this is our river. On one side of the river, nakatira daw dito si Jim at saka si Ted. So di lang natin muna alam. Saan ba dito? Dito ba si Jim? Dito ba si Ted? Okay, or the other way around. While Martha lives on the other side. The distance across the river is 80 yards. So from this side of the river to the other side, it is 80 yards. Now, Ted, who lives downstream from Martha, so meron tayong word dito, downstream. So meaning ng downstream is, kung galing ka from Martha, so kung galing ka kay Martha, sa bahay ni Martha, sabay sa'yo yung agos, papunta sa bahay ni na Ted. So meaning, dito pala nakatira si Ted, since this is the direction of the current, yung agos ng tubig. Now, Ted, who lives downstream from Martha, measures an angle of 35 degrees between the shoreline, 35 degrees between the shoreline, this one, and a straight line leading to Martha's house. Now, si Jim naman, who lives upstream from Martha, so kung galing ka daw kay Martha, pagpupunta ka kina Jim, okay, yung bahay ni na Jim is sa lubong dun sa agos. So measures an angle of 60 degrees. So from the shoreline to the straight line towards Martha, 60 degrees naman daw yung kay Jim. Now, how far apart do Ted and Jim live? So gaano daw ka layo yung distansya ng mga bahay ni na Jim at saka ni Ted. So this line. or this side of our triangle. So to solve this problem, again, I'll just reveal the analysis. So dito si Martha, dito si Ted, dito si Jim. To solve this problem, we will be separating two triangles. The triangle on the left and the triangle on the right. And we will solve these variables, itong M at saka R, individually. Okay? So M will be this side here, and this one will be this side here. At pag i-add natin yung dalawang yan, it will actually add up to the distance between Ted and Jim's house. The answer for this problem is 160.44 yards, where, so ito daw is 46.19, at ito naman, R, is 114.25. Using the principles discussed on the previous videos to solve for R and M. For the third problem, okay, a ship travels 65 kilometers on a bearing of 160 degrees and then travels 192 kilometers on a bearing of 70 degrees. How far is the ship from where it started? Okay, so for the illustration of this video, or for the illustration of this problem, okay, we'll start with a ship, okay, and a compass, okay, to measure for the bearing. So we have a ship travels 65 kilometers on a bearing of 160 degrees. Now to draw this bearing of 160 degrees, we start with a line that is representing the north line, okay? And from this line, we measure 160 degrees, okay? So measure 160 degrees, okay, lagpas ng 90 degrees, okay? So this is 70, okay? This is the direction that this ship will travel to, okay? So it travels on a bearing of 160 degrees for 65 kilometers, okay? And then travels 192 kilometers on a bearing of 70 degrees. So again, we draw a line here and measure the bearing of 70 degrees. Now this will now be our direction wherein this ship traveled another 192 kilometers. Okay? So yeah. The question is, how far is the ship from where it started? Okay? Gaano kalayo yung barkong to or yung vessel na to from the starting position represented by this variable letter B. Okay? Now to solve this problem, i-clear lang natin. Okay? For the analysis, tanggalin muna natin yung hindi natin kailangan. Okay, extending this line here, sabi sa problem, the first bearing is 160 degrees. Now if we extend this line, okay, alam natin that a straight line has 180 degrees. So meaning, if from here to here is 180 degrees, then this angle will be 180 minus 160, which is 20 degrees. And it follows that if this is a straight line here, this is also a straight line here, okay, and this line is common, okay, if this is 20 degrees, this will also be, okay, 20 degrees. Now looking at this triangle, okay, this actually shows that this angle over here is equal to 90 degrees, okay. At kung ibalik natin yung given kanina, that is 65 kilometers ito naman is 192, then it will be easier for us to solve knowing that our triangle is a right triangle. So yung mga formulas na napag-aralan natin in previous videos, ma-apply natin dito since this is a right triangle. Okay, the answer for this problem, okay, the distance from the ship to its initial position is 202.7 kilometers. Moving on to the last problem, which is basically the most difficult problem on this particular quiz. For the fourth problem, a pole of 9 feet high is located on top of a house, right on the edge of the ceiling. From a point on the ground, the angle of elevation to the top of the house is 17 degrees, and the angle of elevation to the top of the pole is 21.8 degrees. Now find the height of the house. Now to illustrate this problem, so you have the pole, which is 9 feet, located on top of a house. So you have this house, right on the edge of the ceiling. So yung pole natin is right on the edge of the ceiling. Now, actually, yung pinagunan ko ng problem na to, meron siyang drawing but it is in black and white. So, ginawa ko lang siyang mas colorful for this presentation. Now, from a point on the ground, so galing dito, from a point on the ground, the angle of elevation to the top of the house is 17 degrees. Okay? And the angle of elevation to the top of the pole is 21.8 degrees. Find the height of the house. Hanapin na natin yung haba ng height ng house. Now, to solve this problem, kailangan natin i-establish itong variable na to, t. Again, this is common to the small triangle and the larger triangle. For the solution, so let h be the height of the house and t be the distance from the house to the point in the ground, which is our observer. Now, before I walk you through the step-by-step procedure in solving this problem, unahin muna natin yung mga posibleng maging pagkakamali in solving this problem. So the first na pwede nating ma-encounter na pagkakamali dito is, una, if we let this angle to be theta. Since given tayo ng 21.8 degrees at 17 degrees, we can solve this angle here. Okay, by subtracting 17 from 21.8, giving us 4.8 degrees. And then, we focus our attention on this particular triangle. Okay, we name this side as HST, or the hypotenuse of the small triangle. Okay, and then we solve for tangent of this angle, 4.8 degrees, which is opposite over hypotenuse, 9 over HST. Now, bakit magkakamali tayo pag ginawa natin to? It's because this triangle is actually not a right triangle. Kung titingnan natin, wala tayong right angle dito na triangle. Okay? This angle is actually an obtuse triangle which is greater than 90 degrees. Meaning, this triangle is an oblique triangle wherein yung mga principles na napag-aralan na natin, yung Pythagorean theorem, yung SOHCAHTOA, yung Choshakov, is not applicable here sa triangle na to. Kaya, this particular analysis to this problem, okay, is a mistake. Magkakamali tayo pag ginawa natin to. Kasi yung tangent, yung ginamit natin na tangent, opposite over adjacent, hindi applicable for oblique triangles. Okay? Now, the second na pwede nating ma-encounter na pagkakamali in solving this problem is if we solve tangent theta, okay, itong tangent 17 degrees, equal to 9 over t. Okay? Kasi yung given lang sa problem is 9. Okay? And we let this variable to be t. Pag ginawa natin to, bakit magiging pagkakamali? It's because the 17 degree angle, ito, is concerned only on this triangle. Now, looking at this triangle, yung katapat ng 17 degrees, the opposite side, is actually h. Okay? Hindi yung 9 na nasa ibabaw. Okay? Kaya, magkakamali tayo dito. Although the adjacent side is t, but the opposite side is h. Kaya dapat, dito, it must be tangent 17 degrees is equal to h over t. And this will be the start of our analysis on solving this problem. Tandaan natin to. Okay? That for tangent 17 degrees, it's actually opposite over the adjacent side. H over t. Ito yung sakto. Okay? Now, moving on, from this small triangle, focus naman tayo dun sa larger triangle concerning the angle 21.8. Now, again, using tangent theta, opposite over adjacent, opposite ng angle na to is this side. Katapat ng angle na to is this side. It's actually h plus 9. The height of the house plus yung height ng ating pole. Okay? Yung opposite side. divided by the adjacent side, which is t. Now, combining this one, itong equation na to, dun sa previous equation, sa smaller triangle, we'll have this one and this one. Nabalikan natin yung analysis natin. Yung t is actually common sa larger triangle at sa smaller triangle. Okay? Makikita natin yung t sa maliit na triangle na to. Makikita din natin yung t sa malaking triangle na to. Okay? So, pwede nating masolve yung value ng t for this big triangle. So, by cross-multiplying, yung t pupunta sa ibabaw, ito naman pupunta sa ilalim ng h plus 9. So, ang nangyari, magiging ganito. Dito naman sa kabila, cross-multiplying, magiging ganito. Yung tangent 17 degrees, pupunta sa ilalim ng h, yung t naman sa kabila. Okay? Now, this t and this t is actually the same. The two are equal. Okay, itong dalawa, gaya ng sabi sa voltage 5, let's pwede nating pagsamahin. Pwede nating i-equate. And then by cross-multiplying this one to the other side, at ito naman to the other side, lalabas ito. Tangent 17 times this one, at ito naman times sa h. Okay? Distributing this one, okay, h tangent 17 plus 9 tangent 17 equals this one. Now, kung titingnan nyo dito sa left side of the equation, may h ito. Ito naman may h. So, ito ilipat natin sa kabila para makombine natin yung magkakapareho na may h. Ito naman, walang h. Okay? Lipat natin to sa kabila. Pag nilipat natin ito sa kabila, magiging negative. Ito naman, pag nilipat sa kabila, magiging negative. Now, tangent 17 minus tangent 21.8, ito yung mangyayari. Ito yung magiging result. To solve for h, we divide both sides by this value. Okay? Para makancel out yan, at kung tama yung pag-input natin sa calcu, then h is equal to 29.2 feet. Okay? So that will be the height of the house. Kung makikita ninyo, nag-iba yung ating solution. But the principles are just the same. Meron lang talagang twist sa problem na to. Kaya, mahihirapan ka talaga if it is the first time that you encounter this problem. But I hope that on the next time that you face this type of problem, alam na natin paano yung pattern pag-solve for these kinds of problem. And that ends our video for this lesson. Okay? Again, if you are not yet subscribed to this channel, kindly subscribe. And if you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up. And ring the notification bell so that you will be updated on our next uploads. With that, I'll see you on our next upload, and thank you for watching this video.